Welcome back. Today is Winnie the Pooh Day still. And as you can see, we just finished our cupcakes and they're really delicious. So go ahead and check out that video if you haven't already. So for another celebration of Winnie the Pooh Day, we've decided to decorate sandwich cookies. Wait, wait. Otherwise known as Oreos. And and I got mine on clearance because Christmas is over. Anyway, so this recipe comes to us from Kitchen Fun with my three sons, and this is a nice and simple recipe and should be fun. So let's assemble our tools. Not too bad. We've got parchment paper and a cookie sheet. We have a small microwavable container or mug. Treat sticks. Now, these are for if you're making popsicles or cake pops, things like that. And let's see, piping bag or a sandwich bag. Or you can use edible markers like me. So this is the first time I'm using it, so it should be interesting. And a microwave. And that's it. Our ingredients are sandwich cookies. And then yellow candy melts, which is that chocolate that melts really quickly, so you don't have to do the double broiler thing I did last time. So either get them in yellow or you can get chocolate, specifically ones for chocolate food coloring. So the food coloring for the buttercream will not work on chocolate. I did find that out anyway. And then if you don't have an edible marker, then you're going to need light cocoa candy melts as well. Okay, so we have everything we need. Let's get started. So first we need to melt the candy melts. So you're going to go ahead and melt this for in full 3 to 4 minutes, but we're going to do 50% power, and every 30 seconds we're going to stir. So you want to make sure to keep it moving so it doesn't burn. And if you're a little one, make sure you get adult help with the microwave. And then our yellow chocolate is going to be, our brown chocolate, if you don't have the marker, is going to be a little bit different, but we're going to go ahead and start melting this. And then we can move on to what the brown chocolate will do in the microwave. So we'll see in a little bit. All right, so we've got our chocolate here ready to go. And so now we got to prep our cookies. So we just need to twist the cookies to separate. Ooh, that's on there pretty good. Never seen an Oreo this well-lidded. There we go. All right, and then we're going to gently place the treat stick in the middle. And smush it as best you can without, breaking anything. And then we're going to put the lid back on, and then also carefully smush it. Smush it real good. Okay. And then, ooh. All right. And then voila. Yeah, oh, they're pretty good. Okay. So now that our chocolate is melted, of course, let's dip the cookies in to get them fully coated. And then we're going to transfer them onto our parchment sheet because we need to make sure to chill them afterwards. So we're going to get them prepped, and then we're going to put them in the freezer for 15 minutes to harden after we're done. And then we're going to move on to the brown chocolate if you want to do that, or the edible marker. So let's go ahead and get this coated here. Uh-oh. It was on there so well. That's okay. We're just gonna try it again. That's okay. That's life. Gee, ma'am. How am I gooey? So gooey again. It's just so gooey. All right. It's not supposed to be a messy one. It's just if you drop it in there, it will be, I guess. All right, let's try to angle it maybe so that it doesn't pile up like snow on a roof situation. See if we can get this coated without it falling off again. I mean, it's definitely melted, but still have to kind of scoot it around. I thought about putting it in a cup and then dipping it, but it does seem to be thicker than I expected. So it still may be a better route to go, but let's see how far we get with this. Hasn't fallen off yet, so that's exciting. I think the main issue is going to be drainage because I want it to cover the brown of the cookie without taking all of my chocolate. That's looking pretty good. Should get the bottoms. Okay, not too bad. A little messy. That's okay. Life is messy. Sometimes the best moments in life are very messy. All right, I'm gonna call that done for that one, and then put it on the parchment sheet. And I'm gonna get a couple more done, and then we're gonna pop it to the fridge for 15 minutes, and then we're gonna work on the brown. So I'll be right back. All right, so we've come out of the freezer and it's properly cold. So now we need to make the face. And if you're not using the edible marker, you'll need to melt some light cocoa candy melts. So same deal, except slightly less time than the yellow melt. So 50% power, stir every 30 seconds, but 2 to 3 minutes. So a little bit shorter because it's less chocolate, or until fully melted. And then an adult will carefully pour it into a decorating or sandwich bag. All right, so now we need the ears. So I free-handed some ears because of the color. And anyway, it calls for you to just take one of the candy melts and then melt it on. But I'm going rogue, and you know, I'm channeling Salvador Dali. If anybody knows his art. Anyway, so we're gonna get interesting with it. Okay, so these are the ears, and so I'm just sticking them on with some more of the yellow chocolate, and get messy again. It's okay. Just try to keep my sweater out of it this time. All right, so we want the ears trailing off a little bit so it doesn't get into eyebrow territory. Get those ears on there, and then we'll start drawing the face. And so we're getting there. We're getting there. I don't want the chocolate to cool down too much because it's pretty cold in here. So you want to work fairly quickly so you don't end up with that issue. Unless your house is really hot in the winter, and then you don't have to worry about it. All right, almost there. Okay. All the better to hear you with. All right, ears on. All right, so we should stick this back in the freezer for about 5 minutes just to make sure the ears adhere, and then we'll start on the face. See you in a little bit. All right, so I've got my marker, but either way, either technique, we're going to draw in some eyes, a nose, a smile, some eyebrows, however you want to draw them. It's totally fine. And Winnie the Pooh is a happy guy, so we want to give him a nice smile. And then, yeah, once we get the face, then we're all done. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so these are ears, not eyebrows. So let's do, I've never used these edible markers before. It's kind of cool. Now, if there's condensation on it, then you might have a little bit of an issue with the markers, but it seems to be okay. A little bit of a struggle. Let's try the other end. It's a little bit fatter. That's a little better. Okay. Big old nose and a little smile here. All right, see what you think. I'm not exactly a master artist, but you don't have to be. Any skill set will work for sandwich cookie art. Give this one some eyebrow action here. All right, we got this guy. I mean, we got to celebrate Winnie the Pooh Day. I mean, have to do that. I remember when my grandpa used to read it to me, and it was always a special time. And it's so many people have a lot of memories of their family members reading them, and it's he's a good guy to have around. All right, my last one. All right, and we're all finished. This is them in all their glory, and I thought it was a great Winnie the Pooh day. Gotta give him credit there, and can't wait for next year. And also, this year is the 100th anniversary of the first book that came out, Winnie the Pooh, and so that's coming up in October. So that's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of surprises there, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.